welcome to Morris Park. This is part 2 of replanting your giant Euphorbia or repotting your giant Euphorbia. Now, if you remember in the first video, I was starting to dig into this, and this is what I've got. I've got almost half the soil removed. So far, so good. Now, how I'm doing this is I'm taking this claw and just kind of doing this and loosening around the roots. That way I'm not tearing up anything really. And I can scoop it out by hand real easy. Comes out easy, as you can see. And scoop that all out. So I'm about halfway there now. And when I get the rest of the soil out, I'll show you how it looks again. Okay, now I got my lacteas out. Actually, they're doing pretty good. They've got a little bit of root to them. As you can see down in here, a little bit of roots. You can see they're also got a little bit of bleeding going on there too. That's something to kind of watch out for while you're doing this. Don't touch your face, don't rub your eyes, don't rub the sweat off your face. If you can't have a rag available that you can do that, do not get this near your eyes or your face. Anyhow, I'm down to about that point now. And you can see some of these roots, they do bleed. Just like the main plant does. So that's something to watch out for. I'm going to continue on with this, and I'll come back when this is all out of here. Okay guys, it's been a lot of hard work. It's taken me a couple hours to actually do all this. It's been very tiring. They're still standing there, even though they have bare feet. Now this is the point, folks, where this is really dangerous. As you're doing this, make sure your lines are tight. Make sure that they are actually supporting your trees. Be very careful. While digging and stuff, these things can shift, so you always want to check your lines as you go. This one actually I had to do a couple times on the Pachypodium, and also on the big Euphorbia abyssinica, the king. I had to do it once or twice. I think, yeah, it was 2 times. Mainly on this large support rope. Now I'm going to let this sit. But I'm going to do one thing first. Now, the one thing I'm going to do right before I do anything else as far as putting soil in is this. And I'm going to let this sit overnight. I'm going to let these roots kind of dry out. Any little wounds heal or anything like that. But this is ground cinnamon. I'm going to put this over there. It will help protect these roots. Kind of a antibacterial thing. And it usually works pretty well. So I'm going to do that. Douse these roots down pretty good. I know I've given them a pretty rough time. There we go. I think that ought to do it. And then tomorrow morning, we'll get out here and make our soil mix and get these planted up. I think I might put those back even. We'll just have to see. All right, till tomorrow morning. Okay, so next morning now, and I think I'm ready to mix some stuff up, some of my soil. First thing I'm going to do is hydrate this, and this is basically a brick of coconut coir. It expands out when you add water to it. It's going to be part of the mix. The other thing I'm going to use is this Beyond Peat potting mix. It's something I've run into recently. Has no peat moss in it. Has a pretty balanced pH. This is going to be basically the base of my organic part of the mix. I'll also be adding some red lava rock. I'll crush that down just a little bit more, but I'll be adding that to the soil. I'll be adding in some perlite, which I know for a lot of us don't like perlite because it does float and such, but around here I just can't get the horticultural pumice and so forth. It's very hard to get and very expensive if I mail order it. It's, oh my goodness, to repot something like this and mail order pumice, it'd be very expensive. So that's kind of the part of the mix. I'm also got some broken terracotta clay pots that I'll probably use in this mix also. These are very large plants, so I'll need some good drainage. I'm not too concerned about it, the soil as I would a smaller, more delicate plant, more delicate Euphorbia. I'd probably be using a totally different mix, and I'd probably be using some of the pumice and stuff because I can order it in small amounts. But for this, it's going to be more of a larger plant mix. So I'll get this together and show you what I've got after I hydrate this brick of coconut coir. Okay, this is a brick of coconut coir here, and as you can tell, it's just a hard little compressed brick of this stuff. But once you add water to it, it'll hydrate out, and I'll show you what I mean here in just a second. Now, I'll show you this here. You just add a little bit of water in this wheelbarrow here, and let this thing soak, and it'll expand many times its size and give the soil I need. Now you see how this brick is expanding, and as soon as it soaks up a little more, I'll be able to break this up, and it'll fluff out quite a bit more into the potting mix component that I need. Okay, you can see I got that little block broken up. It actually breaks up into quite a bit, and now I'm going to start adding all the other components. Okay, there's basically all my components here. Got the lava rock crushed and ready to go. My coconut coir. I got the Beyond Peat soil, and my perlite, a bag of perlite. Of course, under there's more soil, and some crushed up terracotta pots. I always keep these back for various uses like this, and big plantings they help out a lot. The lava rock and the terracotta pots will kind of take the place of the pumice and make this soil nice and breathable and make it drain real well, so the stuff doesn't just stagnate and these big plants don't rot. Once this is all mixed together, because this by itself, the Beyond Peat is just too heavy. You see, it's really got nothing in it but the compost itself. So I'm going to try to mix this all up and get it ready, and it should be great by the time I get it done. Okay, I've got it all mixed up here now. And you can kind of see some of the components all mixed through there. And basically what you want for euphorbias, on these larger ones especially, is something that won't clump together. On your little ones, it would probably be a little bit different mix. On the smaller euphorbias, you're probably going to use a little bit more sandy mix, a lot more pumice if you can get it. I order pumice actually for my smaller ones, like the caudiciform euphorbias and stuff, and use it for them. But on these big ones that are a bit tougher and all, I just need a good soil that's going to not clump together, that's going to drain well, and you can see all this drainage material in it now. It just needs to drain well and not just stay soggy. So as far as mixing euphorbia mix, there's probably 100 different mixes out there or more, probably even more than that. Everybody's got their own mix. For something like this is what I use, because one, it's well drained. Two, the components are not too expensive, like ordering a large bag of pumice or something like that to put in this. And believe me, to try to mail order that, that's very expensive. So I try to stick with some stuff I can get and stuff I have, such as these terracotta pot pieces and so forth. The lava rock isn't too terribly expensive. It's about $3 a bag, and the soil wasn't too bad either, actually. So anyway, I believe I'm ready to start in on this and get this planted up. Now, one of the things you want to make sure you do when you're repotting these guys, you see you got a lot of pockets down there, a lot of holes and pockets. You got to make sure that you fill all these up. And make sure you get that down in there while you're doing this, or else you're going to be left with air pockets and such. So try to get them in all around these roots that are hollow. Work them in with your fingers and everything else. You shouldn't run into any spines or anything really down there, so you ought to be pretty clear on that one. So I don't think you'll get hurt with that. So just work them in with your fingers and stuff, or you can get some small bamboo sticks or something like that to kind of work them down into the roots, and that'll work too. Let's get this going. Now something I am going to do is I'm going to pull the king just a little bit forward. He's kind of leaning back in his pot quite a bit. I don't want it leaning that far, and I want to be able to get some soil in behind him down there. So I'm going to just gently ratchet him forward. Okay, that should bring it forward a little bit. I'll kind of watch my lines there. I'm going to fill in behind here, and then I'll take the strap off of it. Okay, I think I'm about to the point where I can put in my lacteas now. They're sitting over there in that bucket. And I'll put them in there, and I'll probably stake them up with a couple of bamboo stakes to make sure they stay straight. And get them filled in. Okay, I've got a lot of the soil in now. I can probably get ready to start putting some of the small flora in here, like the little aloes and so forth. There's plenty of room now, plenty of good soil. One thing you want to make sure is tuck this soil down good along all the sides of the pot. Also reach your fingers down here and kind of settle in the air holes. Now I'm a hands-on kind of guy, so I use my hands to do this. You can take some little bamboo sticks or whatever and try to do this, or you can wear gloves. But me, I'm just kind of a hands-on guy, and so I just stick my hands down in there and do it. But as I say too, when you're done with the operation, remember to wash your hands because they are euphorbias. Okay folks, I've got all the soil in now, and I've got the rest of the smaller flora in. I've got little agave over here. Excuse me, not an agave, but an aloe. I think that's Aloe arista, I believe. It's actually in bloom. I've had this plant a long time, but I took and broke it up because the roots were so bad on it from being in here without good soil for so long. I just made them into cuttings, basically. Some even had some roots sticking out of the bottom of them. You can see they're in bloom. I put them back in there. I also put these aloe cuttings. I took these out of an arrangement I did about a month ago, repotted, and didn't really have room for them. They're so tall and lanky. So I took cuttings of them, and they'd already started to get roots on their own, so they ought to be rooting up pretty easily now into this new soil. And I have a little Haworthia here that needed repotting, and so I just decided to put it right over here. These guys are really tough and take a lot of abuse and everything, but in this new soil I think it'll just take off and look great. Anyhow, all I need to do now is get my top dressing in. Okay, and we are all done. Yes, indeed. This has been a major undertaking. I'm glad I got through it without even a scratch. See, I've lined everything out here. I've got this filled in with top dressing of lava rock. And some of our local cool rocks here, the holy rocks. Looking good. Cool one there. Everything looking pretty good here. Yeah. Now, the ropes are going to stay on these for, well, quite a few more months. I'm just going to have to decide and kind of look things over, keep a check on things, and see how well balanced everything is and how it settles in. But I don't want to release these ropes right now, because they really don't have a lot of great roots on them. They're loose comparatively in the pot than what they were. So I think for safety's sake, I'm going to leave the ropes on them. Take them down in a couple months maybe. We'll just have to see how things balance out. But anyway, remember, always wash your hands after handling your euphorbias. If you have a giant euphorbia like this, always remember to be checking your lines the whole time you're doing this. Make sure the lines are tight. Make sure this thing isn't going to fall over and kill you. Because believe me, it could. That's a big, big euphorbia. And that pachypodium isn't no slouch either. Yes, indeed. Hope this all works out well. It looks good. I'll be putting some of my stuff away here now. And glad to be done with this majorly huge job. Yeah. This is Clyde Morris from Morris Park. I hope you all learned something from this video. Stay tuned. There will be more Euphorbia culture videos in the very near future. This is Clyde Morris from Morris Park. Hope you're all having a great day. Now that I'm done with this, I'm definitely having a great day. Take care. Before I go on this, I just want to add that I won't be watering this thing for about a week to 2 weeks. 2 weeks probably. Let those roots heal up and everything. Whenever you transplant succulents and cactus, wait a while before you water them. They don't need water right away. Just be careful watering. Wait a couple weeks, let the roots heal up, and then water carefully afterwards. Take care.